Hi, I'm Mark, and this is the Alaska Rural Homestead. So, today I'm going to show you how to make a southern comfort food, chicken and dumplings. Now in a previous video we made chicken stock, and because we made the chicken stock we had some chicken that was off the bone. So we've got this, and I've taken some of that stock and I've left it in this pan here. So to start with, I'm going to go ahead and put my chicken into the pan, and I'm going to put it on low heat, and I'm going to get that to just warming up real good. And then I'm going to stop and I'm going to make the dumplings for you and show you how those are made, and then we're going to add them and then we're going to cook them. So stay tuned and get ready for some really good food, and let me tell you, it'll just make you fat if you're not careful. You gotta love it when the chicken doesn't want to come out. So this was all the chicken that we pulled off the bones. And yum. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't begin to tell you how wholesome and good this is for you, because if you get your chicken from a farm, or if you grow it like we do, you know what's in your chicken. You also know what's in your stock because you made it yourself. And then when you make your homemade dumplings that go in there, you know exactly, literally, everything that's went into this. Now I want to show you something. You see all that greenish color right there? The kind of greenish yellow? That's the chicken fat in our stock. That's where all the flavor comes from. That's what you really want. That greenish color is from the stock itself, where we added all of our vegetables and stuff. Now, when we made our stock earlier, we separated the vegetables out and just left the stock because we're canning the stock. Anyways, as we progress here, I'll make the dumplings. At that time, just before I stick them in, I'll bring it up to a boil and I'll add the dumplings. And after the dumplings are in for a short time, I'll go ahead and add the rest of the vegetables. And the reason I'm doing that is because the vegetables are already cooked. I don't want them mush. So I'll add the vegetables after I put the dumplings in and let them cook for a little bit. That way everything is nice and firm and not mushy, because nobody likes mushy food. So anyways, hang around. We'll get this cooked and we'll show you how it's done. Okay, so now we're going to make our dumpling dough. Real simple. 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Try not to throw the bowl in there. That's not one of the ingredients. 1 teaspoon fresh ground pepper. A teaspoon and a half of, I use Himalayan sea salt. Go ahead and put that in there. I use lard in mine. Some people use butter. I like lard, gives a better flavor. Two tablespoons of lard. And then the final ingredient, 3/4 cup of that chicken stock we were talking about. This flavors everything. Stir it into a dough. Now at this point, you want to make sure your hands are clean, because you're going to get dirty. Get your dough started. Like I said, this is where you get a little dirty, so you want to make sure your hands are clean, washed real good. And you just want to knead this bread like this, excuse me, this dough like this, So you get everything out your bowl, or as pretty clean as you can get it. If your dough's a little sticky, you can add a little flour to it. But as you can tell by this, it's not really that sticky. This mixes all them wonderful ingredients together. You can tell that dough's not very sticky at all. It's even having a hard time trying to pick up the extra off my finger on the side there. But just continue to knead the dough like this. Push everything back in on itself. And that just mixes it up real good. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and roll our flour out. What I like to do first is put just a little bit in my hand. Cover both my hands and just kind of that real light dusting on the dough. Not much. Okay. Set that aside. Clean counter. Another key item here. Just kind of make sure this is spread out a little bit. Now these are rolled dumplings. Some people like drop dumplings. Some people like baked dumplings or rise dumplings. Personally, I like to taste the chicken and the stock. I don't like to taste a lot of bread. You can see all the chicken stock that's in the dough right here. All these little specks. That's that fresh ground pepper. It's the herbs that were in the chicken stock. It's even a little couple pieces of chicken in there. Don't worry about that. First off, everything is in, it's already cooked. Second off, it's going to be cooked again here real shortly. Nice thing is though, is you have a nice flavorful dumpling and not just a piece of dough. And so you want about 1/8 of an inch thick, 1/4 at the most. Okay, so I'm a guy. I do things a little differently. I like a pizza cutter. You can do this with a knife. Like I said, I like a pizza cutter. Like I said, not perfect, so. There it is. They're already cut. All you do is you pick them up like this, get a bunch of them in your hand, and we'll put them in our boiling water here. Okay, so our stock has came to a boil, and we go ahead and just drop these in, and we stir as we drop in, just so they don't stick to each other. And once that's done, I'll recover this, and I'll bring it to a simmering boil. That's a light boil, not a heavy boil. And I'll do that for 20 minutes. So see you in 20 minutes. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes. Our dumplings have cooked for the initial 20 minutes. Now's the time that we're going to go ahead and add half a chopped onion. Remember we said when we were making the stock in a previous video that we always wait to add our onion and let it cook in the final minutes. That's because we don't like mushy onions. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. And then we have all of our carrots and celery and herbs from the stock. And we're going to add that to it also. And then the final ingredient that makes it the best is 1 can of condensed milk. This gives it that ultra creamy, tasty yum. So we'll put this in here and we'll bring it back up to that simmering boil we had it at. We'll cook it for another 10 minutes, which basically warms up them vegetables that we had, cooks the onions. Too bad you can't taste it. You can see it thickened up quite nicely. Nice, hearty, southern chicken and dumplings. So this is everything you could want. Too bad there's no smell in the camera here. Give us that like, give us that subscribe, and enjoy. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. We'll have the recipe in our comments so you can follow along and enjoy yourself. Thank you.